All right. Think you guys can see me. Hey. All right. Well, David Stevens, welcome back to part 4 of MK University. I'm super excited to do this training with you guys here today. And team building is our topic here. So team building is one of my very favorite topics. It's one of the things that I really started in when I was a new consultant. I started in right away on team building. My very first month, actually my very first party that I ever did, I got my first new team member. I will admit it was like seriously totally a fluke, but I'll share that story with you guys later in a minute. But I from the get-go was so passionate about my business and so excited about it, and it was so different, so empowering, so much more exciting than anything I'd ever done, as far as job wise goes, that I just was so enthusiastic that I just couldn't wait to tell people about my business. And so I just kind of naturally started recruiting people just really at first, just based on enthusiasm. So that is actually one of the main things I want to tell you guys is that we'll kind of talk about that later too, but just be super enthusiastic about your business. So we can kind of have that feeling. And then it also goes along with putting words, being able to put words behind what it is that we're feeling in order to build a team. And then some skill of learning how to book career surveys and book guests and things like that. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. But I will tell you the truth that it all starts with that enthusiasm. So let's do a real quick review before we get more into part 4 here on team building. So part 1 was all about how to get organized, how to organize your products, how to organize and get everything just set up for your business, how to organize your money management, all those kind of things. Part 2 was about how to start your party, how to set up the party at the table. What to say when you walk in the door to somebody's house for a party. How to use the party book. Do you have that printed off? Part 3 was on how to close up the party. So what to say at the very end of the party to get your results. And remember, our results are all, that's why we're doing the parties, because we want results, right? Otherwise, we're just like really great entertainers. And we, don't get paid for being entertainers at Mary Kay. We get paid for getting our results. And so our results are that we want to have, from each and every party, we want to have at least $200 in sales. We want to have 2 pages of referrals. We want to have at least 2 career surveys. And we want to have booked, and we want to have at least 1, preferably more like 2, new parties booked. So we're going into part 2 and part 3 of MK University is all about how to open the party, starting to talk already about those results. And then part 3 was about how to close your party to make sure you get the results, including doing the individual consultation. So a little bit about team building was actually in last week's part 3, because a lot of team building is going to come from you doing the close of your party and the individual consultation to book career surveys and to book guests. And so we're not going to get as much into the necessarily like the how, like what to say for those things, because that was in part 3. And actually in part 3, there's also scripts in the handout, and I go through that as well. And there's on YouTube, there's more information about that, but on our YouTube channel. But also, if you want to read the script, it's in part 3's handout. But like what to say at the individual consultation, what to say when you're asking for a career survey, all that kind of stuff. So we're not going to, again, go as much into what exactly to say here in part 4. I am also adding a part 5 that's going to be next week, because I just felt that it was going to be really important that I teach our unit here about the Mary Kay way. So that's going to be part 5 next week. It's going to be just the way that Mary Kay runs, our philosophies, things like the golden rule, how we treat each other as sister consultants, and I'm also going to talk about emotional management, and which is important, and success tips. Give a few more success tips. So that's going to be more like, the Mary Kay philosophy, the Mary Kay way, and emotional management kind of stuff here next week. Okay, so that'll be part 5, and then we'll be done with MK University. Okay, put that here. Okay. All right, so let's start off with team building. So when you start Mary Kay, there's 2 avenues of income. There's of course, selling the product, which is, while you're doing the party, and you say nothing happens till somebody sells something. And so we start by booking, we start then by coaching and pre-profiling, and then we go out and we do the party and we sell product. And from the parties, we're going to meet amazing women who will become our wonderful customers. Some of them will become our great friends that we met there. We'll also get hostesses, like new hostesses. We'll also get girls who could be possibly or will be part of our team. And they'll watch your presentation and be at the party and see how fun it is, and they'll want to be a part of that, and they'll see this as an opportunity for them to make extra money or have friends or have a new challenge in their life or whatever it may be that they like. But those are really our two avenues of income: is selling the product and building the team. And you're going to get both from your party or your skincare classes or your facials, whatever you want to call them. So they both are going to come from there. So nothing happens until somebody sells something. But also when it comes to team building, we say that people recruit close to the product. So 99% of the time, we're going to be recruiting from our facials, and even preferably in a perfect world, it would come from our party. So yes, in a perfect world, what your Mary Kay business would look like is that you call somebody or you text them and you book the party, and you first book their facial, and then you give them an incentive and say, hey, I know most girls like to do this kind of thing with friends, so would you like to invite some friends? I'll give you, blank for having some friends over. So she has friends over too. And so you go and you pre-profile them, and you call them before or text them before to get their skin type, and then you go and you do the party. And you use the party book, you go start to finish, you get those referrals, you do your travel roll-up bag clothes, you sell the product, and you book some new parties, and you also book those career surveys. And during the career surveys, you get some girls then who are interested, and then maybe they're a hostess and they join your team. Or before they're even a hostess, they join your team. And so that would be like the perfect scenario in the perfect world. It's because whenever people do recruit from your facial, specifically from a skincare class, they're going to be that much more knowledgeable about what we actually do as consultants. They're going to understand like how to do a party, even if they don't know how to perfectly do it. They're going to understand what that looks like. They're going to understand that you have friends, people will invite friends, and their friends will show up. They're going to understand that that people like to book. They're going to have a little bit more confidence. These people do like to book parties. People do like to buy this product. And she's just going to have a quicker learning curve. So that is like in your perfect Mary Kay world, starting with people selling the product at the party, and then from there booking the career survey or guests, and her becoming a part of your team and building a team. So people do recruit close to the product. So that is, perfect scenario. And so anyway, I want to go into also, and before I kind of go into more details of why you want to build your team, I want to talk about two things that sometimes will hold us back from building our team. And that is, both of them are along the lines of just like maybe the negative stigma that we may feel when it comes to building a team or recruiting. And so first of all, a lot of times we even have a stigma around the word selling. People like myself, I was like, I don't want to sell anything. I like hate selling things. I didn't want to in high school when I was in band. I didn't want to when I was on the tennis team. Like for fundraisers, I don't want to now. Like I don't like to sell things. I don't like to make people feel like I'm bugging them. So a lot of times when we think of selling, that becomes a very negative connotation. And by the way, Mary Kay, we have a philosophy of teaching women instead of selling them on things. But in reality, we are all selling each other on a lot of things, really on everything. The people who have the most success, who kind of like getting their way or relationally, are people who understand how to sell their thoughts, how to sell their opinions, and how to effectively influence people, and not in a manipulative way. I hope not in a manipulative way, but in a way that understands people that listen the way when we're selling things. So just for example, if I go to a really great restaurant, okay, let me give you guys this example. So we have the Indiana State Fair every August in Indianapolis. And my very first year that I moved to Indianapolis and I went to the state fair, I got the best loaded baked potato. Like I love potatoes. Okay, so I won't get into that story about potatoes. I love potatoes, and I got a barbecue baked potato, and I'm not kidding. It had so much stuff on it. It had I love barbecue. It had barbecue sauce. It had ranch on it. It had cheese. It had chives. Like it had like tons of barbecue, like honey barbecue sauce. I mean, I love this thing. So when I went and talked to my sisters, my mom, about my state fair experience, guess what I told them? Okay, guys, I had the best, it's like, what food did you have at the state fair? So like, I had the best barbecue baked potato. And I like was honestly so passionate about this baked potato that every single one of my, I have three sisters, every single one of my sisters and my mom, when they individually went to the state fair, guess what they got? They all got the barbecue baked potato. They all like text me and they're like, "We got the barbecue baked potato and it's so good." And I'm like, I know. So just in that like little silly scenario that probably you guys can relate to, like you've done that if you've gone to a good restaurant or seen a good movie or whatever it may be. We're selling people on our idea just by our enthusiasm and just by them putting words around being able to communicate effectively what it is that we're passionate about. So we're always selling people on things. And same thing when you're like, wanting to, I always joke about this too, the first time that my aunt lives in downtown Chicago, like she can walk to the Sears Tower, or I don't think Sears Tower anymore. She lives downtown, it's like awesome. And so I wanted to take my new husband, we were first married, to Chicago and stay with her. And he doesn't really like big cities. And so I had to think of a way to get him to go because I really wanted to go and I really knew he would enjoy it once he got there. And I really wanted him to come with me. And so I had to really think about him. So this is what selling comes into. Even with team building, is it's really not about me. Like sure, I want to go to Chicago, but really it's about why would my husband want to go to Chicago? Because if I give him my reason, like he's not going to go. If I'm talking to somebody about my Mary Kay business and only things that I like about Mary Kay, sure, there's like some enthusiasm, like I talked about, that my baked potato things I like, but like I'm also wanting to listen and know the person I'm talking to because I really want to know why would she want to be a Mary Kay consultant. So if I'm just like talking at her, it's really not going to do a whole lot because we may be totally just motivated by totally different things. And we may be in completely different seasons of life, but really that doesn't matter because I want to know what does she want about this business. And so even when I'm presenting at my parties, I try to, and I share my story and I'm like sharing about the Mary Kay opportunity through the purse game. I'm sharing about different things, different avenues, different motivators of different things about the business. So I'm not just talking about how I like to stay home with my kids, because even if she's a mom, that might not be her motivation. So, but maybe it's the promotion, maybe it's the cars, maybe it's that she could become debt free, maybe it's the safety and security of knowing that she'd be debt free. So I don't know what it is. I don't know. So I'm going to kind of, I'm going to ask her when we're one-on-one, but even when I'm presenting at a party, when it comes to team building, I'm going to talk about all the different areas of the purse game, and which, by the way, the script is on our unit website under education, and if you need it. And I'm also going to share not like just one aspect in my story. I'm not going to when I'm introducing myself. I'm going to share like a few things. Like and I'm not going to go on and on, but I might share like I love my business because I get to stay home with my kids and I love the freedom and flexibility. But I also love that I get to be my own boss, which means that I get the freedom and flexibility to work when I want to. I get to get a raise when I want to. I get to promote myself. I get to be part of leadership if I want to. Like I get to earn free cars. I get to be challenged. So I'm talking about like different areas of my business. And then when I'm talking to somebody more one-on-one, I'm more asking them questions. I'm asking them what would excite you? about this business? Because I want, again, with going back to my scenario with my husband in Chicago, my motivations were completely different from his. And so the way I actually told him on Twitter, because he did go to Chicago, this goes back to like, we're all selling, we're selling things. We're selling our opinions and our thoughts. But I got him to go because I thought of him and what do all men like? They like food. Okay, they like food. So I got him to go for the pizza and the hot dogs. That's how I got him to go. And he was really, really excited. Like, okay, I'm like sold. He's like, I'm going to go. So we're always, selling something, and we're thinking in that process, we're thinking of the other person and not just ourselves. Which I love about the selling opportunities. I love selling because I really love to get to know people, and I love to hear how I can help them find what they already want. How can I help them reach what they want, whether it's the product or the business opportunity. And then also, another stigma word is the word recruiting. And oftentimes, that word recruiting, it's almost, we almost don't want to say it out loud. But in reality, again, all the top people in business, in sports, in anything, they are all recruited. The CEOs of companies are all recruited. If you have a kid if you have a son or a daughter who's in high school and they're a basketball player, you're hoping that coaches and the top coaches come to them to recruit them. Like that way, recruiting is like a very positive thing, because truly recruiting is the highest form of flattery. It really is. It means that you see something in somebody that is special, that you like to have, you like to work with them, you would like to help bring out the potential, you see potential in them, you see things in them that could absolutely be blossomed through this opportunity. And so truly recruiting is the kindest and the highest form of flattery that you can offer to somebody. So when you kind of have that mindset of thinking of others as you're selling this opportunity, and asking them questions so that you know what motivates them, as well as knowing that recruiting is truly like a compliment that you're giving to somebody because of greatness that you see in them, that's going to hopefully help our mindset. Okay, so let's talk about, as you do build your team, and kind of why you want to build your team and the career path. So let's just start with the most obvious reason why you want to build a team, and that is for the money. That's for the money. So there are the two ways we make money, again, selling the product and team building. So if you would like to tap out all avenues of income, then you want to definitely build your team. And so also, we say that the big girl money comes from building your team. I like to think of it as that I'm in a way, really, I'm franchising myself. So I might have this group of, I have this hostess here, I have this hostess, I have this hostess. And this hostess, we have a party, she has two girls book a party. Okay, so now there's a little branch off. And now these two girls have really good parties, but they all came from this one. So then they're starting to branch off some more. So from this branch that I have, I would love to recruit somebody on that branch to take those customers. Let me teach you from this branch, someone from this branch, to service those customers. Let me take this, then I have these two other hostesses. I'm going to take this branch, and I'm making a branch here, getting referrals from them. I'm getting bookings from bookings, that kind of thing. So now I would like to get this group going, because guess what? Now that frees up my time. Now I can, and frees up my opportunity to get new branches. So truly, it's like you're opening a new branch. You're opening a franchise whenever you are building your team, and you're teaching each one of those girls from each branch to do what you do. And so one of the easiest ways to train your team is have them come with you to your parties. Put them in the car. You can talk about it on your way home. So that's kind of how I think of, like, I franchise myself. Okay, so let's talk about the money. So of course, when we have a saying in Mary Kay that money doesn't buy you happiness, but it does buy you choices. So just some of the choices that I've gained from this opportunity. I mean, I started listing them. I could go on and on. Some of the ones that are near and dear to my heart. of course, are my kids. I started Mary Kay, started building my team, and actually resigned from teaching before I even knew I was going to have kids. I was already resigned from teaching because of Mary Kay. So if you're someone like me who doesn't have kids, I loved the thought that I'm building something that is already going to allow me to have the finances to be home when I have kids. I love that building process and knowing that I was set. I was setting myself up for my own vision before before I had the kids. Like I'm preparing for it. I love that. Um, I also, of course, love now that I had the freedom and flexibility as a mom to be home with my kids and to do the play dates and to go to the zoo and to have that quality time and to spend the time that I do have um, doing my life with people that are most important to me. Instead of spending really the majority of my time at work with people that I might like or maybe don't like, but those are the people I'm spending most of my time with. And I want to spend most of my time investing into my my legacy, which is my kids. So I love that. I also love that some of the choices that building my team and promoting myself has given me is to pay off debt, paid off my car loan, paid off my student loan early, um, credit cards. I mean, I could go on and on. Just choices, financial choices for my children. Um, things like zoo passes, things like going on weekend trips, things like decorating their room and their favorite thing and their favorite toy or whatever. Things like recently my son Josiah, um, he's getting into like the sports stuff, and we just got done with soccer. That was $85. We just now signed up for basketball. That was $90. I'm going to put Abigail actually in soccer when she's 18 months, and that'll be another like $100. So those activities that you want your kids in, if you don't even have kids yet, but you want to someday, like those things cost money. Like they add up quick. And so those things are like no big deal, and I'm glad I get to do those things for my kids because of my hard work. Another just example that doesn't have to do with kids is I remember actually my dad, like a few years ago, my dad loves bluegrass music. He loves, like, I say love, like he loves it. And there was a bluegrass concert coming to town, and me and my sisters for Father's Day wanted to get him. It was like right around that time we wanted to get him tickets, but they were really expensive, like really expensive. And so I was able to say, you know what, I will pitch in like this much. It's like out of our budgets really, but because of my Mary Kay business, I was able to pitch in extra and cover like what was kind of left over so that my dad could go to his concert, and he was so excited. So those are like the little things that sure I don't get to do every day, and believe me, like I would definitely like to continue to increase my income, but those are the little choices that I have worked so hard to create for myself, and just the feeling of not being so nervous about what if like something breaks down, just that freedom, and or what if I don't know, what if something happens, what if someone gets sick or something, not having that so nervous feeling that if anything goes wrong, like what are we going to do? That right there is priceless. So that was one of my biggest motivators to actually start Mary Kay and to work hard and think about that every day. Like I will not live with this pressure and this stress for the rest of my life. Like I can do something about it. And then last but not least, one of the best choices is that my husband and I can give more. We can give more to our church and to a lot of amazing charities, as well as missionaries. My uncle's a missionary. My father-in-law actually has he and my husband's stepmom started a foundation in an orphanage in Africa. And so just different things like that we are able to give more to and give to more people. And so that's awesome. That's an amazing opportunity. And so if you're not even wanting to, you're like, I don't like kid doesn't need to have a cute decorated room. Fine. But would you like to be able to give more? Would you like to, I can even think of more that I would love to give to if I continue to work harder and promote myself even as a director and increase my income even more. Like I could do so much more. Or like I can think of people right now that are friends of our family or whatever that could use financial help. And I would love to just be able to be like, I'm going to mail this person. Like God put it on my heart. Who should I mail money to? Who could I buy groceries for this week? Like how awesome would that be to be able to do those things? So just like dream about that stuff. It's awesome. So all right, I'm gonna stop talking about that because I could go on. All right, so let's talk about team building with the money and exact numbers of how you make that money, because we're going to make money by helping other people succeed in their Mary Kay business. All right, so the career path. You can get these brochures off of Mary Kay in Touch under section 2, and then if you click on team building, they have these, and you can give these actually to prospects. So the way we all get started is, of course, by ordering our starter kit and becoming a new Mary Kay consultant. All right, so beauty consultant. With your very first team member, you're going to become now a senior consultant. All right, with your first one or two active team members. At this point, you're going to be getting 4% team building commission on top of your 50% commission for your products that you sell. So that's your first promotion as senior consultant. Your next promotion is going to be a really big one and a really awesome one, and that's just something called Red Jacket. And Red Jackets actually wear a red jacket, and that way you visibly, before you wear it to your meetings, you wear it to conferences, you can wear it to your parties if you want to as well. But right away, we can visibly see she's moving up. She's moving into leadership. She's building her team. She is probably moving even past the beginning leadership phases and moving on to directorship. And so that's the Red Jacket. And the Red Jacket, there are 4 different levels of Red Jacket. And the first one is Star Team Builder, and that's with 3 or 4 active team members. And you still get the 4% team building commission, and then you also start to get a $50 bonus with qualified recruits. And qualified means that she's coming with an inventory package of $600 or more, and it's qualified. So you get the $50 bonus starting with your 4th one and on. Team leader is the next, and that is actually a really huge promotion place, because at that point you have 5 to 7 team members, but you move from the 4% team building commission and you move to now the 9 or 13%. 9 or 13%, you still get the $50 team building bonuses. And you can also now, at the team leader position with at least 5 active team members, you can now go on target for a car. Yeah, for a car. Okay, that's a team leader, 5. When you go on target with for the car, when you and your team combined have a $5,000 production month. Okay, next level up is future director. This would be 8 or more team members. You still the percentages are still the same. You get a 9 or 13% team building commission and a $50 bonus for every qualified recruit. But of course, now you, instead of 5 to 7 team members, you now have 8 or more, so your commissions will go up because your numbers going up. And then independent sales directors and qualifications, or DIQs, directors and qualifications, have at least 10 active personal team members, and they still get that same amount, 9 or 13% team building commission, and then $50 team building bonus for every qualified. And then they can continue to they maybe have earned a car by then, or they continue to go on target for the car or continue in those qualifications. So look up the qualifications if you need to for the car on Mary Kay in Touch. That'll be a different training, just for the sake of time. And then here's the independent sales directors, is then your big jump, where you still are going to make the 9 or 13% on your personal team, but now as an independent sales director, you start to get paid for your team members, and their team members and their team. So just all in your unit, you get paid a 13% commission on everybody's orders of the company, as well as your an extra 9 or 13% on your personal team. And those $50 bonuses are now $100 bonuses for your personal team members that come in qualified. You now can also go on target and earn the Premier Club level car and the Cadillac, or take the cash. You also now get unit volume bonuses. You also now, as a director, you get a once a year, you can qualify to get what's called a wellness bonus, which would be a lump sum every January of $800, $1,300, or $2,000 that based on your unit production that year that you can apply towards health insurance or whatever wellness program you want, or you can just take it as a bonus. And then you also can get several other bonuses and perks as well, such as an invitation to our leadership conference that we have every January in a different warm city. That's for directors and national sales directors only, and all sorts of other perks there too. And then the top position is the national sales director, which our national sales director is Leah Lockwood. That's her name. Okay, so I'm just going to give you, as we close up, I'm going to just give you guys a real quick example of the differences in making money at these different levels. Okay, so I actually pulled out, this is my very first team building paper. They used to, instead of email, when I first started 8 years ago, they would mail you stuff because we were on a saver list. So my very first, when I became a senior consultant, my very first team member did $1,800 package. Okay, so I made 4% commission on that. So my commission was $72. Okay, my next month I added one more team member, and my and I was still a senior consultant, 1 to 2 team members, and so my commissions that month were still at 4%, and my team did 914 wholesale. So my commissions that month were $36. Now the next month I moved from senior consultant to team leader with 5 active team members. Yes, 5 active team members, and we did $7,127 in production. So now I moved to 13% commission, plus I started getting the $50 bonuses. So I got $150 in bonuses, and so this was my team leader commission, $1,776.51. All right, so you can see I started with $72, and in 2 months later I was at over $1,000, just because of my promotion of the career path from senior consultant to red jacket to team leader as a red jacket. And so lastly, let me give you this example. I was actually talking to a girl a couple months ago, and her team did $8,500 in production, and she happened to actually be a DIQ. And so we were talking about, so she's getting the consultant, she's getting she's building her team, but she's getting the consultant pay. So her unit did $8,500 in team production, and so let me show you this. So this is how she got paid as a consultant off of $8,500. She got the 13% personal commission. So this was her commission, and then she got the $50 bonus. She had 3 new team members who came in qualified, so she got $150 in bonuses. So this was her, that was her paycheck that month, her commission check from Mary Kay that was direct deposited into her account. That's a pretty nice little side job, an extra $1,255, right? Okay, but as a director, so she was a DIQ, so I'm like, next month when you're a director, okay, so next month when you're a director, take that exact same, all right, take that exact same, the $8,500 that you just did, and now instead of calling your team production, we're going to call it your unit production, okay? And so you are going to now be doing, again, the 13%. So you're getting still, just like you did when you were a consultant, that 13%. But now you're also getting another 13% on your entire unit. So not just on your personal team, but now on your entire unit. So now you basically have that twice. Okay? Now you're also making other bonuses. So now she's also making $100 bonuses instead of $50 bonuses, she's now making $100. So instead of $150 for her 3 qualified recruits, she now has $300 extra. She also is going to be making for 3 qualified, she makes $300 bonus. She also is going to be making what we call the 10% unit bonus that you get. Anytime your unit does over 5,000 in production, you then get just an extra bonus of 10%. or whatever your total production was. So if it was 8,500, you get an $800 bonus. If it was 10,000, you get a $1,000 bonus. If it was 20,000, you get $2,000 bonus, 10%. Okay, so now I remember as a consultant, she made a pretty good consultant paycheck. But on that same exact production as a director, she made $3,600. Okay, so that's the difference between consultant and director. She made $3,610 would have been her paycheck on that exact same production. She also would have by that point most likely either been driving free or on her way definitely to doing that. That would be on target, over the on target for the Chevy Cruze, and almost on target 9,000 would be on target for the Premier Club level. So just to give you an example of how we make money and how you come into that Big Girls Club as a director, the difference maker that is. So, okay, so to wrap up, really, when it comes to how you're going to build your team, like I said at the beginning, you want to remember that you're thinking of others. You are giving people the best, you're giving them, it's a form of flattery when you're asking them to be part of your team. So you're having that mindset. You're wanting to invite guests to your meetings. That's exactly how you're going to build your team. You're also going to book the career surveys. Again, that's in part 3. Just some things to remember when you're booking a career survey is to ask everybody. Do the group career survey close. Ask everybody. And book it. Book and schedule the career survey at the individual consultation. You want to do mostly 3-way calls for that with me. Have them watch Leah's video, write down 3 to 5 questions. Again, that's in the script. This is awesome for your team building training. If you want to get training on how to talk to people, how to ask these questions, you book a bunch of career surveys, and honestly tell people it's helpful for my training because you'll get to hear how I do that, and you'll pick up on those patterns, and we'll talk about it after, and you'll learn so much about how to build a team. Whether they want, this is not just for people who want to do Mary Kay. You book career surveys with everybody because everybody has a different way to, different feedback, different questions, a different way to train you, really. So, and remember that 1 in 5 say yes. So anybody who says no, they're actually helping you get closer to the yes. So don't even worry about it. If they're like, no, I don't want to, or I'm like, sure, it still helps me out. Just, helps me out with my training. So seriously, it's okay if you say no because I need more people to say no. They're fine like that. And then also remember that what our target market is. So you can sometimes feel like you're working and working and working, but if you're with the wrong target market, you can kind of be spinning your wheels. So let me share with you, again, as I close, your target market. It would be the following things, and it basically is under the umbrella of you're talking to girls. You want girls on your team who have stability and maturity. Stability and maturity. There are exceptions. Okay, so I'm going to name these things, and my very first offspring director, Mary Cho Ing, was really pretty much none of these. Okay, so out of the hundreds of girls that have been on my team, I have a few exceptions, like the amazing Mary Cho. Okay, but these are exceptions, and we don't build our unit, we don't build our business on exceptions. We don't prejudge people for sure. We ask everybody. We listen to them. We want to hear from them, but we also want to really hone in on our target market because it will create stability for ourselves, and it will create a more fun way to move up than kind of the people who are outside of it. So target market, number 1, girls with jobs, steady income, over the age of 25. So again, more steady life. A lot of times, if you're like me, I was moving a lot, moving apartments, switching boyfriends, all those kind of things. Not really switching the boyfriends, but it can happen. So over 25, owns a home and married. So again, just for those reasons, and there's nothing wrong if you are none of these, or if you're talking to some prospects who are not exactly in the target market, but you want to build most of your business along those lines. Girls with jobs, over 25, own a home, and are married. And again, it's just because it creates stability and maturity. And then lastly, your target market are girls who are motivated and girls who are problem solvers. I don't care what she looks like. I don't care what her personality type is. I don't care if she lives in a big house or the smallest apartment you've ever seen. If she's motivated, I want to talk to her. I want her on my team. If she's a problem solver and she's willing to work, I want to talk to her. I don't care if she works at McDonald's or if she's a lawyer. You could be any of those above, and you could be unmotivated, and you could be somebody who is motivated or unmotivated, is willing to work or not willing to work. And so those are some of the qualities that I'm looking for. And of course, women with integrity. So that's kind of what you're looking for as well as you go out and to your parties. And remember, we're going to recruit close to the product. So we're starting there at the selling appointment and taking it from there, booking the career survey right away, as close to the date as possible, keeping in our target market if at all possible, inviting guests, getting that training, whether she wants to be married here or not. Thank you so much. You say, thank you so much for helping me out with my training. Super helpful, and you will watch yourself start to build a team. All right, so your homework. Your homework is number one, to practice your career survey close that is from part 3 if you've not yet done that. And then second, make a list. Make a list of motivated girls in your life. Make a list of motivated girls who are from your parties and write them down and ask them to do a career survey. Challenge yourself to do a career survey. And if you're brand new, remember that when you do 5 career surveys with me, in your first 30 days, you get a pair of pearl earrings. And when you bring 5 guests to your meeting in your first 30 days, you get a pearl bracelet. And with your very first team member, in your first 30 days, you get a pearl necklace. So be a pearl girl and start in making that list of motivated people and look back at our script and talk and communicate with me that you want to do this, and I will help you and coach you as well, and start asking people and get that training for building your team. So, all right, thanks so much, girls. Message me, box me if you have any questions, and have an awesome day or evening.